Hello, everyone, and welcome to Trinity Continuum Core, a quantum leap. This is being presented as part of Jumpstart Month here at the Onyx Path Twitch. We're running a whole bunch of Jumpstarts. If you go into the VODs, if you're a subscriber, you can catch up on all we've been running this month. Otherwise, they're also showing up over at the Onyx Path YouTube channel, so another place that you should be subscribing. My name is Travis Legge. I'll be the story guide for today. We've got some players with us, so we're going to introduce them real quick. Let's start with Chaz. Chaz, why don't you go ahead and tell us who you are, what you do, who you're playing, your pronouns, their pronouns, and anything you'd like to promote, please.
Gotcha. Well, hello, my name is Chaz, he, him. I'm a PhD student who researches video games and music and storytelling, all that fun stuff. And I am playing the one, the only Victoria Semenov, a survivalist blogger, goody two shoes. She is she, her. She is very much training to be a hero, but also treating you how, like, if you want to go out into the woods and survive, this is how you do it. I think pretty much just Bear Grylls, but rest of it. So yeah, that's what we're doing today.
Dope. I dig it. Next up, we have Fran. Please give us your pertinence and your character's pertinence.
Hi, I'm Fran Stewart. As anybody who's been on this channel regularly knows, I write stuff. And today I'm going to be playing Cynthia Trace Smith, who's basically, if they had a crap. Remember what I was saying earlier today before we were on stream about names? Yeah, all of them are gone. She's part of a project to deeply embed secret agents, only it was defunded and nobody told her. So, yeah, it's like being in a you know a 90s grunge comedy version of a Robert Ludlum novel. So I guess I'm trying to find ways that I can do good for people, but mostly I just need to pay rent. So,
Excellent. Next up, we have Trick. Please give us your part.
I am Trick, or the Hair Trick, on just about everything except for my Patreon, which is Hair Trick Productions. I'm a variety streamer over on Twitch with a focus on level design. I am he, him, and I am playing, if I can click in the right place, Shen Ming, or Qi, and they are she, her, and she very much so takes all, she's Robin Hood, but in a cyber way. She goes in and takes all the assholes' money who are assholes for the sake of being assholes, and then helps people who actually deserve and need the help. So
a generous redistribution of wealth. Yeah. Admirable goal. And then that brings us to Jeremy. Please give us your pertinence, please.
Hey, I'm Jeremy Hochhalter, he, him, playing Achi Anderson, also he, him. His role is the Scope. Let's see. So Achi is, his mental acuity really led him far in the military and brought him to this group. I feel like the fidget spinner was made for him, or he maybe designed it to keep himself busy. So he's got some of those, or he's got a pen or something. He's always doing something with his hands. So hopefully we'll get some action in here soon and he can make that energy go into something productive.
Excellent. Wonderful. I look forward to seeing where the adventure goes with this group. So we are going to be running, as I said, Trinity Continuum, a quantum leap. It is a jumpstart that gives you everything you need to begin the adventure in the Trinity Continuum. This is the core Trinity Continuum setting. The core book that this is drawn from is utilized in all other eras of the Trinity Continuum. So if you've seen Aberrant, you've seen Adventure, you've seen Aeon, if you've heard of Assassins or Anima that are both on the way, this is the base level from where all of that rises up from. You can pick up the Jumpstart on DriveThruRPG at the link I just threw in the chat. And we're going to run through the story. Chances are very good this will be a 2-session situation. But I will be on vacation next week, so picking up 2 weeks hence unless you all just blow through this super fast, which one never knows. So, to bring things together, you have all received a message sometime within the last several hours. That message stated, "Greetings. We've had our eye on you for some time. My name is Pharos, and I head an organization called the Pharaoh's Lightkeeper. In your line of work, you may have heard rumors of our existence. If we've done our jobs, you've never heard of our accomplishments, because when we fail, the world pays the price. We pride ourselves on the quality of our members and are selective in who we invite to join our ranks. After years of observation and deliberation, it is my delight to extend such an invitation to you. Should you wish to accept this invitation, simply head to the nearest airport. One of my agents will find you with the plane waiting and the rest of your team on board. I invite you to spend time getting to know them. They have, after all, received the same offer as you. If you accept, please do not worry about any pets, positions, responsibilities, or obligations that might burden you. We will see to them in your service to us, and proper alibis and excuses will be made. If you have any specific requests, please leave them with the agent at the airport. This communication will destroy itself shortly after its message has been conveyed, and you'll find it quite resistant to reproduction. Try not to take too long deciding. The world waits for no one." I will assume that each of you has responded to this message by going as instructed to the airport.
After carefully sweeping my entire apartment for bugs again.
And I'll just make sure they know, like they can come in and feed the cat, but don't touch the cat. Like the cat may want to be touched, but it's a trap. Don't touch the cat.
Excellent. Do any of you have anything you would like to leave with the representative at the airport? Any instructions, any requests when you arrive?
Forward on any mail addressed to a Mr. Grimsby immediately to me, because that may relate to some other stuff that I can't really lay aside.
Duly noted. On your arrival at the airport, you all are greeted with effectively the same scene. A rather unassuming gentleman in like work overalls, effectively, kind of greets you as once you're in the airport lobby, but not past security yet. Guides you through a back way out onto a tarmac where you see a relatively unassuming looking puddle jumper. Kind of plane that nobody would look at twice, at least from the outside. Once you get inside the plane, you notice that it is much different. Very large, comfortable chairs, in the exact number as there are you, +1, lining the interior, and all are on swivels but face inward. There's a table stand within reach of each chair, leaving plenty of room for you to move about. And there's a galley in the back of the plane that has drinks and food.
I'll stow a very long case in the overhead if it fits. If not, it'll slide underneath. And I have a backpack, and I'll pull out a smaller case from there and sit down and open up. It looks like one of those pill boxes that says Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday through the whole week. But I have like fidget spinners and coins in each one.
Nice.
And I'll just pull out. What day is today?
Today it's Thursday.
Okay, so I'll pull out Thursday's morning, because it's morning, right?
Never could get the hang of Thursdays. Yes, it is morning.
Okay, I'll pull up morning Thursday and start dinking around with that while I wait for everyone else.
Excellent. Go ahead.
When I come on board, I'm dressed in a I'm dressed in an airport janitor's outfit with the name, with the name Louise on it. And as I get on the plane, I'm like, I mean, you didn't say where in the airport, so and I'm putting away a bunch of ID tags in a kind of messy looking backpack and stripping off the jacket.
Excellent.
Hey, Louise. How's it going?
Louise.
Louise. Sorry, Louise.
Yeah.
I'm Achi.
Nice to meet you, Achi.
Louise. Okay, got it.
Any particular way that Key is arriving?
I would think I would just kind of be suspicious of everything for the most part. Maybe show up in the alternate identity that I take great care in maintaining.
Okay.
Or at the very least, bringing enough to have that alternate identity look like it's traveling to the same place that I may be traveling, just to keep up the facade.
Sure.
But that's really about it. I don't think there would be too much else they're doing, just being unassuming.
Very good. If you're going there in the guise of your assumed identity, you are probably unpleasantly surprised to find that this presents no obstacle whatsoever to your contact.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was worried
They
about.
kind of roll right up to you, though they do address you in the name of your assumed identity.
Well, if they're going to contact me for whatever that they might need done, and with how ominous that everything was, I assume this is kind of to be a good look on their end, that they've done enough research, but also really bad on my end, because nobody should know who the
Right.
alternate identity is.
Right. It's you're conflicted.
Yep.
But they escort you up to the plane as well. And then is Armory doing anything unusual or different on arrival? Okay. All right. Yep. I got your message. Excellent. There's a bunch of noise in the background over there, so we're going to try to keep all of our interaction with Chaz to this and this for the next 10 minutes or so. We'll see how that goes. Once you're all on the plane, a woman steps out, looks like Indian, wearing a very high quality, custom tailored, purple power suit, with a skirt. And she steps out and just steps out from the cockpit, nods a gentle greeting at you. Hi, my name is Shanti. I will be your liaison. I would like to welcome you to the Pharaoh's Lightkeepers. We're grateful for your particular talents. I would like to... We will be traveling to Berlin. There's a matter that requires the attentions of those who have your skill set. Once you arrive, the full details will be made available to you. But in the interim, if there's anything that I can do to ensure your comfort or rest you at ease, please don't hesitate to ask.
Shanti, right?
Yes.
And then I repeat her name several times to make sure I've got it. Do you have any peanuts?
Yes. We can provide some. Your flight attendant will be able to address any of your, dining needs. The only thing I ask is that you please leave the pilot be. They will need to focus their full attention on our travel.
Berlin, huh? And I pull up YouTube on my phone and pop in one earbud and start watching random videos of interviews with people in Berlin and Germany, and you can see me sort of working my mouth like I'm talking under my breath.
Okay. She says, if I may, we do have an in-flight movie prepared for you. So once we're off the ground, I'll get that started. Any questions? Beautiful. She steps away.
No, but after I get my peanuts, I start like bouncing them off things into my mouth.
Nice.
Sorry, go ahead.
She goes back into the galley. The flight attendant comes out and asks if anyone need anything. She hands you your peanuts.
Ginger ale?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
And for you?
I don't think I want anything. I'm still kind of like stewing. I'm sitting here trying to think of like, do I make a new identity? Like,
Spent all the time working up names.
Yeah,
You just
I'm like
looked
so-
right at it.
so upset, honestly.
She walks back into the galley. The plane takes off, and about a minute after you're in the air, the rear wall near the galley sort of blinks to life, and you see that there's like a LED screen that's placed so flat within the wall that you didn't even notice its presence. It looks like it was maybe just projecting an image of the same wall. When this comes to life, you see a shadowy figure backlit by a bright blue light. Thank you all so much for responding to my missive. Earlier today, a bomb went off in the Mall of Berlin. Currently, it's being labeled as domestic terrorism, but we believe there's more to it than that. Our initial assessments have detected a large amount of what is known as flux energy on the ground. It's a relatively new area of science. Information about it is not widely disseminated. This is the energy of pure potentiality and something that we have, as a species, lived with all of our lives, though it's now possible for science to detect. It is also possible to be used as a weapon, which is deeply concerning to us. We need you on site to find the underlying cause, discover who's responsible, find them, stop them. Shanti will hand you tablets with which you can requisition whatever gear you might need, along with contact information and further details. Accommodation near the site will be provided, along with any logistical support you require. This jet will be stored at the Berlin-Brandenburg Airport for your use on this mission, should you need it. This should be obvious given the extreme measures we went to contact you, but this is a clandestine mission. The Lightkeepers are able to do the good we do because of our secrecy. Your further association with us will be contingent on this, as well as your performance in the field. Report in often, serve well, and the light will keep you safe and whole. Good luck, Agent. And the TV screen returns to looking like part of the wall. Shanti steps out and hands you each a tablet. It's very sleek looking. There's no branding or mark of manufacturer. They flash green twice, the full screen, and then click to life, displaying your name and a message that says identity confirmed scrolling past.
This is like a little computer that they handed us, or
Yeah, it's like a tablet, like a tablet PC.
Yeah.
well, I am going to do everything in my power to get past whatever sort of security that they have on this to see how they found out that I was me.
Sure. Go ahead and give me a computer or technology, whichever you prefer, roll. And which of your attributes would you like to rely on for this check?
Well, I think I'm going to use technology because it has hacker tools.
Okay.
So that seems pretty appropriate for what's happening. And I guess it would be manipulation, maybe changing, because I'm trying to figure out, okay, how do you know who I am? And then changing who they think I am in it.
Sure.
Manipulation or cunning, I think might be good.
That's right.
Yeah, let's go with cunning because that's just a little more thought oriented, whereas manipulation is a little more social oriented.
Okay.
So let's do cunning tech. Actually, you said the technology is the hacking tools specialization.
Yes.
So to give you an idea of how specializations work in Trinity Continuum, specializations in your skills are complementary. They don't actually aid the skill itself that they are in. They aid when you're using a different skill. So in this case, it would actually be advantageous to you to use that specialty on a computer role because it would then offer its benefit there. And just double checking that, but your skill specialty acts as an enhancement. So if you were to say we're going to do a cunning computer check, but you have this technology specialization in hackers tools, you would have a +1 enhancement to your roll. And the way enhancement functions is that those are automatic successes that count as long as you get a material success. So if you roll 1 success on the die, you add all of your enhancement to that roll.
Oh, okay. So here's my only question: where is the computer skill?
Is it not computer? Is computer not listed?
No.
Okay, I may be talking out of my tailpipe on skills. You'll have to forgive me. I rolled knowledge wrong edition.
Yeah, I have close combat, command, culture.
I'm sorry. I apologize. It would be enigmas. My
Enigmas. Oh, okay. So I'd roll that plus cunning, you said?
Yep. Enigma's cunning, and then you have a +1 enhancement.
Okay. And those are all D10s, right?
That is
1d10s. Okay.
And you're looking for 8s. You're looking for 8s or better. If you get a 10, that becomes 2 successes, and I believe you get to roll it again.
All right. 1, 2. Sorry, I don't have fanny math rocks. Yes, they're all shaped like little butts. I don't have fancy math rocks. I have to open up Astral. Okay, so I got an 8 and a 10. So does
Excellent.
the 10 get re-rolled, or do I get 2?
So you'd re-roll the 10 again. So you get
Another 10.
Re-roll
And
it
not
again.
a 1.
All right, so you got a total of 3 on the dice, which you add the enhancement. That becomes 4 successes. Excellent. Okay. So what that allows you to do as you're going through this technology, it occurs to you 2 things. One, while this has access to what appears to be like a satellite uplink for internet, it doesn't seem to have any access to like any hidden databases or secret like back doors to get back into their system. The other thing that you recognize is the technology used in this tablet is hard to gauge, what with Moore's law being what it is and whatnot, but you would guess conservatively 5 to 10 years ahead of anything that's commercially available.
So this might be have to do with kind of the same sort of science that was that bomb. Like maybe they're powering it with this or.
Right.
Gotcha.
The other things that you do notice, and you all do notice this individually as well beyond the roll, is that the UI of this tablet seems to be custom designed based on your own user interfaces on your devices. So for example, if you have a phone, the UI is set up with all the customization you would normally have had on your phone or tablet. It's streamlined to the point of being almost like intuitive for you to interact with.
So that's why I rolled so well. So I was so used to using this, even though I'd never used it before.
Exactly. The main contents of the tablet at this point are dossiers regarding the situation that you're facing. And again, it does have, satellite uplink internet access. There are standard web browsers as well as Onion browsers on it. You get the distinct impression that tracing back the location of this device would be a challenge, um, based on the technology at play. And the news that you're able to find, the items in the dossier on the tablet, is a variety of news reports that basically sum up to the bomb detonated early this morning at the Mall of Berlin. 7 were killed, several more injured. No group has claimed responsibility for the bombing, and the authorities have declined all comment. A source close to the investigation has confirmed that the authorities have few leads, and they also claim the likelihood of this being more than simple domestic terrorism is very high. Eyewitness reports have stated there are several special investigators on the scene.
Are those special investigators part of the Pharaohs or anything like that? Like if they already wormed their way onto the scene?
You have no indication in your dossier that that is the case.
Okay.
They appear to be from a number of different organizations. And you realize, we're going to say just for convenience sake, that you left from New York City. That's easy to look up, right?
In our puddle jumper?
Yep. In your puddle jumper. You find yourselves, like you get the notification that you've entered into a landing pattern from the captain about 4 hours into your flight.
That's not right.
Once that comes out over, during the flight, the flight attendant will check on you probably about every 20 minutes unless someone tells her to do otherwise. Other than that, you're free to interact with one another during the flight if you like. Otherwise, once you land, we can step to the next scene. So do you have anything else that you want to engage with, discuss?
So does anybody here know what the hell flux is?
I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
Would any of you like to make a science roll?
Sure.
Not after I said I've never heard of it. Especially since I have no skills in science.
Same here.
You have nothing in science?
And I don't even have a percentage, like a elect thing. So no, nothing.
Yeah, nothing. No idea. Did Armory want to make a roll or no? Zero?
Zero.
No idea, never heard of it. That seems odd.
Isn't it that thing that makes the DeLorean go back in time?
Oh yeah, that explains how fast this flight was.
As once you're landed, Shanti walks back out and passes you each an envelope. She says, "These envelopes you will find €3,000, passports and Interpol identification matching the identities we've crafted for you for the duration of the mission, and there will be a car arriving at the tarmac shortly. If you need any requisitions while you're in the field, just feel free to email requisitions from your tablet."
As we're getting off, so I kind of elbow Armory, and I'm just like, so much swag. Cool.
Yeah. I immediately order a scooter. Motor scooter.
Okay.
Like, drop it wherever we're going.
Okay. Yeah. You see, like, you get an email back that says, "Would you like this sent to the destination or your current location? And is this an emergency?"
Non-emergency destination.
Is noted.
Well,
A car is driven up onto the tarmac. The car has it's a black minivan. As soon as it's pulled up, the driver, who's wearing basically the same work jumpsuit that the man that you met in New York was wearing, hops out and tosses the keys to the first of you that he sees without a word and just walks up into the plane.
I'll snag those keys.
yeah.
Yoink.
All right. You do have directions in the GPS to the mall. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna open my backpack, which inside actually looks kind of like a file system, like a file cabinet. Like it pulls open and everything's like very organized, and I have to move things around so that I can put this envelope into. What am I going to file this under? I'm going to file it under swag, and so move some stuff around and get under swag, and then put my crap. Is my long case for my gun going to fit in this car?
It's a minivan.
In this minivan, I'm going to slide it under the seats. If you could not kick Bijou, that would be great. Just keep your feet off of the case. Beautiful. Thank you. And I'll get in the driver's seat and move it back and then move it forward. No, right there. Okay, perfect.
Excellent. You all pile into the van and start making your way to the mall. As soon as you arrive, you can see that there is, there are police lines up, several investigators on the scene. You can see there are emergency responders that are still working to clear rubble from the street. It's pretty apparent to you, based if nothing else on clothing, that there's a gentleman who appears to be sort of the in charge fellow, the person responsible. How would you like to approach?
Well, I'll tell you guys right off the bat, my best use is when people don't notice me.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
I'm good at asking questions. I'm good at getting in places. But I'm not very good at distractions.
Yeah, I was more hoping to find who's actually in charge and spending some time investigating the alternate people in there. But I can walk up to them and introduce myself. Perhaps when I do so, we haven't been given any information on like who we are or anything to these people, right? To the investigators.
You were given passports and Interpol credentials.
But we given like
Interpol credentials, yeah. So as an international police organization, as in agents of.
Yeah.
So.
Right. So you have a badge and.
Mm-hmm.
And
what I'm trying to ask is, do they know that we're coming? Like, has anybody informed them, or we're like, hey,
you have no indication.
This is our scene now.
You have no indication that they have any knowledge of your impending.
All right, perfect. Well, then I'm gonna walk up in with like exuding confidence, like this is my scene. I was called here because you fuck ups let this happen, and this is our scene now, because we've been tracking somebody who's done this in other places, and we tried to warn you that this was going to happen and you didn't listen, so now we're taking over so we can stop the next attack.
All right,
so that's
and that's kind of the tone that you're approaching with.
Yes,
as you flash your badge.
Yep.
All right, why don't you go ahead and let's say for skills wise, that's probably going to be. I would say persuasion.
I
Or
have
command.
persuasion. Okay, I would do. I guess I have to do persuasion because command I have nothing in, but I have convincing argument in persuasion. So
Okay. It unfortunately won't apply
Yeah.
because it's not a cross, not a
Right.
complementary. But then what attribute would you like to?
Oh, that's
Alive.
1000% manipulation.
Okay. Cool. Give me a manipulation persuasion for this. There'll be no additional difficulty to it beyond the base of just their resistance to it. So your difficulty for the roll is 2. The way that works in this system is your target number is always going to be
2?
8. Yep. Your target number is always 8. So you're always looking for 8 on the dice. The difficulty is the number of successes you need for it to be considered a successful roll.
Okay.
So
Well, that was really lucky I rolled the 10 into an 8, or I would have failed with 8 dice. I got 2 successes.
Excellent. And you would get 1 enhancement from your Interpol identification, so it does count as 3.
Okay. Whew. Not as close as it seemed then.
So he kind of like tosses you the side eye and shouts in heavily accent. I'm assuming that you're approaching in English.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
He says in heavily accented English, you heard the lady. And then says something in German as he then stands aside and like gently lifts the police line and like sarcastically sort of gives you the hand.
I like maintain eye contact with him, don't break it, and I gestured to my friends, my entourage, to follow me in.
Excellent. I assume you're all following in the same entry, or is anyone going to try another vector of entrance?
Nope, following along.
Is there a way to like walk the perimeter to keep an eye on them, or is it like do I have to follow them to see them?
To walk the perimeter of the scene while keeping an eye on your allies?
Right.
You probably will lose them because they're going to wind up going into the mall proper.
Right. Once we get in there, is there like an area they're going and then like a roped off area that I can like just kind of stroll around, or is it?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to kind of stick to the outside edges, keeping an eye on, like basically doing like an Overwatch, that's totally fine.
Yeah. Cool. That's what I'll do.
Okay. So when you get there, you go in, and the main concourse is where the bomb was detonated. So there's kind of like a second, like a balcony that you can sort of walk around and keep an eye on the area through. You see, ruins, rubble, dust, some blood stains here and there. All the glass storefronts in vision of the concourse have been shattered. And it looks like the bomb itself actually went off on the balcony overlooking the fountain in the main concourse. The balcony where the bomb was detonated is dropped down to rubble, so you have kind of like a horseshoe up top with the rubble being on the floor. What would you like to do while you're in here?
Well, I would assume that there's some investigators and things like actively working the scene and like trying to figure out what exactly happened. I would try and learn what they've learned and see if it differs from any sort of thing that was given to us in our dossier.
Excellent. So you're going to speak with them about just kind of bring us up to speed
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. And are there any investigative actions that Armory is going to take?
The Armory has just like snapped out of her funk of being like, did I make enough videos for YouTube? Because I don't know how long this is going to take. I made like 10, but they'll figure it out. And it's now like finally fully present in the mission. And then it's kind of just like looking around, like not really sure what to do. So she's just going to look around, see who needs help, and looking specifically at anyone who might be getting a little uppity. Since we tend to be polite-ish when we talk to people.
Okay. So keeping your eye out for whether or not anyone is maybe
Defensive, specifically like
standoffish.
defensive in nature.
Okay. From a investigatory perspective, what is Trace going to do?
It's tricky because most of my job is once we know where to go, you shoot me in like a hidden microphone and I go find things out. But I'm doubting that there's anybody here that would have, I don't know, done anything. So I guess I sidle up to somebody who looks local and start up a conversation and gradually sort of start moving into mirroring, what they're doing. Not in like a kind of way, but in sort of I'm sucking up their body language and their slang and the accent and everything.
Excellent. So you're kind of acclimating yourself.
Yeah,
to the
like
local...
bad scene, huh? Oh my God. It's
right.
a popular mall and, just kind of drawing the person out. And
So the way this will work then is we're going to resolve each of these separately, but some of them will add some bonuses to some of the other stuff, right? Now, as you're working kind of alone, well, you're all sort of working, I guess, more or less alone, but your work is going to have the least impact on everyone else's. Trace will resolve yours last.
okay.
So let's start first with the interrogation that Key is doing. And what would you like to use as your attribute to go with that interrogate? And are you going to be relying on persuasion or command while you're interrogating?
It would be persuasion.
Okay.
For sure. I guess this could be cunning or maybe presence based on how we arrived. I don't know exactly how presence or any of these. Okay.
Presence is like your social, like the strength of your personality.
Okay, that's definitely what I was more so aiming for, was like, you're just going to tell me everything because you're supposed to, because my title and my little card here says you're supposed to. So I'm just playing off of that entirely.
I love it. Go ahead and give me that presence persuasion roll, please. And you can have one enhancement because of the Interpol potential.
And it's still target 8, right?
Always, yep.
That's 4 successes with
Beautiful.
a 10.
And then so that becomes 5 with your enhancement. Excellent. Let's note that. Now, the way this is going to work is your successes can be either banked to be spent at the end, or it can be drawn from to enhance other things that the rest of the team is doing. Okay? And I will let you go ahead and make those decisions on the fly as we're going. So the next step would be for Armory. And Armory, again, remind me, you were more relying on just what you see, what you notice.
Yeah.
What's out of line, right?
Yep.
So why don't you go ahead and give me and let me know if there's another skill you had in mind for this as you're observing them. But I would assume you're going with empathy to sort of look at kind of like people's moods and their behaviors.
Is there anything else I could do? Because Armory is many things. She is not empathetic.
I
You know
would.
what?
Well, go
Yeah,
ahead.
we just gotta wing it because
The other thing might be enigmas or humanities would also possibly apply.
so 0 empathy, 0 enigmas, 0 humanity. We're just gonna wing it.
Okay.
Sucks all these dudes died.
What
You missed a
ability?
finger over there.
What ability would you like to rely on? And are you going to take any enhancement from the pool?
Not gonna take any enhancement. I want to use composure if that works.
Okay. So yeah, just keeping your cool and
Yeah.
keeping your, and letting yourself be calm while you observe what's going on. Yeah, go ahead and roll composure for me.
1 success.
Excellent. So now we're at a total of 6 in the pool. That will then bring us to just a straight up, let's do, for the Overwatch roll, as you're kind of looking at things from a visual perspective.
Is this for scope?
Yeah, for scope.
Something else Scope's going to be doing is because that whole like the criminal returning to the scene of the crime is keeping an eye outward as well for people who don't belong. Like I figure people are kind of wandering around, but they've cleared the mall out of like no one's shopping now that they've set off a bomb, right?
Right.
Funny
So if
that.
it does seem like someone's watching, that's also something I'm looking for, if that matters.
Sure. Let's get a. Let's do a cunning plus resolve roll. And are you going to use any of the? Are you going to use any of the enhancement on this roll?
I don't think so. One, two, only 2 successes.
Okay. So we have a total now of 7 successes in your investigation pool.
Nice.
Meanwhile, I would like culture from Trace. Failing culture, enigmas or humanity would work.
Right.
Humanities, I should say.
Enigmas. So
And then, what tribute would you feel is best for what you're doing as you're sort of observing this person?
I guess probably presence would be the right thing because I'm trying to either presence or composure, but they're the same. So
Okay.
trying to sort of scope in on this. All right. Ooh,
Allow
that's a 10 for 2 successes.
Excellent. So you can take your enhancement to social roles that you might need to make later down the road.
Okay.
Just hang on to that. You've got kind of 2 floating enhancement as long as you're making social roles towards someone who is German.
Got it.
Okay. So, couple things that you're absolutely able to spot regardless. You do discover that there are parts of the bomb scattered throughout the rubble, where the balcony fell and where the fountain is busted up. Local law enforcement believes that there are bits of cell phones and other technical devices from a nearby kiosk. However, Trick, you said he has technology, correct?
Correct.
All right. You recognize that there are actually more than so much like cell phone parts or things like that. like you recognize a couple of these pieces as being older, more like secondhand, kind of like the stuff you would expect you would find in an electronics store, like a Radio Shack, things
And
like
there
that.
isn't one in this mall?
There does not appear to be one in the mall. No.
Well, I suppose that bears some questioning to the people who are investigating the scene. Was there any sort of large pieces that they found, or do they know how the bomb was put together, or are they still trying to piece that together themselves, or what?
They take you over to the pieces that they have put together so far,
Mm,
and you're able to notice that it looks like this sort of jury rig technology was built around a core that, as near as you can tell, was harnessing some kind of energy, probably this flux that they were talking. The core pretty much got destroyed beyond any sort of um, information that you could gather here, short of like taking it to a crime lab.
right.
But you do get enough out of it though that you're pretty sure if you ran into another device, like you're able to put together kind of the what you think is the trigger mechanism to it,
Okay.
and you're able to put together what you believe to be a rough idea of how it would be disarmed should you run into another one.
Okay. My curiosity is, why is it old pieces? Because I was worried that, advanced technology being used in advanced ways, but it seems like somebody got their hands on some shit and they're like, I can use this to blow stuff up, and then used what they know to apply it to that. So
Yeah.
now I'm like kind of like almost disinterested in the crime scene, because I want to hit the local like hacking community in Germany and be like, hey, did anybody get their hands on some weird shit doing some really cool stuff, or was there any, like, you know what I mean? So that I'm trying to figure out like how I'm going to approach that now.
Sure. And while you're digging through that, um, what would, aside from that information, what would Armory like to focus on gaining or gathering from their part? You're specifically looking for people who are suspicious, correct?
Yeah. Um, I think at this point, Armory's just going to start walking around and being somewhat of an annoying tourist, like just enough to kind of poke people even more. Like, not disrespectful, but just that particular like balance of, have you been to this very obvious place that you would have definitely gone in like fourth grade as a.
So, are you trying to? What sort of reaction are you trying to provoke?
So I'm assuming most people are just going to be slightly annoyed or slightly dismissive. I'm looking to provoke anyone who seems to have a more extreme thing. Just because, according to Armory, someone who wants to blow something up is probably angry. So
Sure.
now they have a better understanding of the room.
Yeah, as you're reading the room, you get the distinction that um, some of the folks don't particularly, they're not they don't seem thrilled that you're there. They're not going out of their way to be cooperative, and as you're sort of pushing things, they get a little bit more standoffish. But nobody reacts in a way where you're like, that dude's got an anger management problem. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot more like, oh yeah, yeah, like, you're the one they sent. Okay, like it's much more like, I've already had a shitty day and this person's annoying than it is
Yeah.
aggressive.
People have been murdered, and now you're shitting in my coffee.
Right. That's kind of the vibe you get back. And lastly, over on Overwatch there, The only thing that really sticks out to you that you haven't, that nobody else seems to have noticed, is the blood stains that are on the walls all make sense when you're standing up by where the balcony fell through. Like you're like, okay, somebody was standing there and they got pasted against that wall. Somebody got a table driven through them over there. And then you look over and you see a Victoria's Secret. Glass busted out, but you see like drops of blood going into it.
Almost like something was bleeding as they walked into it instead of the spray of blood.
Right.
Okay. I'll walk over to the window and glance in, trying to keep my eye on everyone and look in.
You hear labored breathing.
Were there survivors? Like, is there a paramedic around helping somebody, or has that pretty much cleared out and now it's all investigatory people?
There are no paramedics immediately inside. There are still paramedics outside. Like everyone that was injured in the blast has been removed from the immediate scene, but they're like still being loaded into ambulances and evaluated and stuff.
Okay.
So there are still EMS on site.
I'll just, whoever's closest, whether it's one of my fellows or one of the other investigators, I'll just get their attention.
Closest
Like
at this point
snapping.
is probably Armory because, she's kind of walking the circuit. So like, you look over and see like an awkward interaction between her and one of the cops as you like snap your fingers.
Yeah.
As soon as you snap your fingers, you hear the breath go.
I'm going to go ahead and draw my pistol because that sounds like they might be trying to hide. And I'm going to be like, hey, get an EMS, and then step in looking for the target.
All right. Armory, are you going to run off and grab someone, or are you going to turn to someone else and go, hey, get an EMS?
Is there an EMS within shouting range that I can see right now?
No.
Okay. Is there someone who I haven't pissed off within shouting range?
Oh, sure. Yeah. You haven't
I would
quite
talk to
made your way.
That person, get an EMS quickly, and then I'm just going to run off.
They pull out their cell phone and call up. We need EMS inside. Scope you around the corner into the Victoria's Secret. And once you get inside, it becomes very clear that the blood, like, it looks like whatever was walking, once it got around the like front doors behind the mannequins, it then became a crawl situation.
Yeah.
And the
Just
blood,
smearing.
And the blood stream is much more of a like, and it looks like wherever, like you can see where the person fell to their knees, and probably a half cup of blood poured out of them.
Oh, that's healthy.
Yeah. That's not where that goes.
Right? Blood goes on the inside. I'll follow it, and
You follow it around, pistol drawn. You round the corner behind the checkout counter, and you see a man laying on his back, like up against the like shelving under the counter, with a piece of rebar sticking through him.
it's uncomfortable, I say out loud.
We have people skills.
Right? I'm going to kneel down next to him with the gun still trained on him. Is he conscious?
He is conscious, and he's like blinking his eyes and looking at you and trying to focus. And I would like you to go ahead and give me a medicine cunning, we'll say.
Shiny math rocks. 1 success.
Okay, you're pretty sure that he needs, like, somebody's going to need to lock that thing in place, stabilize him, probably bring a sawzall into the, like this. He needs help.
Right.
He's not
Is
in
that
immediate danger of dying right now, as long as that rebar stays in him. But he doesn't look like he's going to be awake for very long. Sure.
so? Looking around, this is Victoria's Secret. I'm just gonna grab like a wad of underwear and just like place it around like where the rebar's going in, trying to not jostle it. But is there like we're behind the counter, so is there like a packing tape?
Oh,
Those
sure.
like
Yeah.
packing tape
Absolutely.
guns, and then I'll tape the underwear to him as gently as possible.
He starts like grunting and groaning, but he whispers "thank you" in English, heavily accented with German.
What is this fellow wearing, and does he have like a trigger on him? Is he like the trigger man, or is he just like a dude that got rebarred?
He seems to be wearing just kind of standard street clothes, but you can absolutely see that there is um, like he's got like a business card, like a piece of paper, like crumpled up in his hand, and he's like thumbing it almost like it's uh, like one would do for a comfort item, right?
Okay.
Um,
Can I like try to like take it out of his hand and replace it with my hand to hold on to him? Like, it's okay, but really, I'm trying to get that piece of paper.
Absolutely, yes.
It's okay, but gimme.
You
Right.
take the paper from him, and he again like inhales sharply, but does squeeze your hand. And so the paper says on it, um, "Blessed are those who spread the word of 2911," and the numbers are written out 2911. So it's at this time that Armory rounds the corner as well and sees this sight in front of you. Now you can tell that this poor fellow is losing consciousness quickly. If you have any questions, now would be a good time.
I'm gonna hand the paper to Armory.
Oh, I'm here.
Yeah, like you round the corner and see this like whole scene splayed out. Dude's got like 5 thongs stuck to an open wound that have now been taped shut. Do you have medicine at all?
No medicine. I do have survival, so
I mean, you're like, yeah, it's at least as good as rubbing mud in it.
all right, sounds good.
And yeah, he looks 8 shades of fucked up.
He's losing consciousness. I want to like kneel down and say, "I've been through worse. You'll be fine."
He smiles and says, "Mistake, accident."
Mistake, accident. Oh, look back.
What's your name?
Nobody go get the medic. Don't.
Shit.
The rebar is fine.
You'll be fine.
And the wad of underwear you dabbed on him.
Sherman, Chet Sherman.
What was a mistake, Chet?
Why don't you give me a persuasion check, plus whatever ability you think is best,
Are you persuasive?
and
Fuck.
you can't have a +1 enhancement because you two have been treating this fellow as opposed to just like leaning on the rebar, like give us answers. No.
With the enhancement, that's 2 successes.
Excellent. He says, "It was not supposed to explode. It was supposed to release the word."
Who sent you, Chet?
The others ran. I tried to run, but stuck. Saturnalian.
you are.
Saturnalian, and then he passes out.
Was that last word one word? Like
Yep.
Saturnalian? Okay,
Yes.
thanks. Huh. I will lean into Armory and say we should get some radios so we can talk to each other, like rather than shouting, because that doesn't seem to be working very well.
EMS runs in. They're like, "Hey, who's hurt? Holy, I'm gonna need a stretcher and a saw and a magnet.
A lot of duct tape.
Bring the jaws of life." They start working on him. Thank you very much for calling us. You did the right. Put fucking underwear on this guy, and they start like.
It's clean.
You know, mine is more absorbent than that. I'm sorry, I wasn't thinking.
Yours is more absorbent.
Yes, and don't ask me how I know that.
Yeah,
And I make sure that I put the tape back where I got it from.
Excellent. Anything else that you would all like to do here?
Just inform everyone else of what we found out. Yeah, but there were other people.
Yep.
We should see if they have footage of like a security cameras,
Right.
Yeah.
because whoever this guy was with is who we're looking for.
Chet said it wasn't supposed to explode, but released the word. I can only assume that word was explosion.
Boom,
Boom.
right? I feel like
Uh,
he wasn't warned that the word was boom. though.
Right.
I think we're dealing with political nut jobs here, or religious probably, or some combination.
Little from column A, little from column B.
And so your plan is to go back to the head of the investigation scene, see if they have any video footage.
I like that.
All right. You still have 2 remaining enhancement from your investigation pool. So I will allow you to utilize that. And just a little bit of behind the scenes, as I've been revealing, the way that the economy of successes works in this game is each success, you spend successes to purchase access to information, factoids, things you notice, things like that, right? So as I've been pointing these things out, they've each had a successes cost. And whatever's left over gets to be pooled into enhancement for a few. So you've expended all but 2 of those, which you may now use on this roll if you so choose. One of you will need to convince the Inspector Lieberman, to assist you to answer your questions about the video footage. You do
I'm
have
on it.
2 enhancement from the investigation overall, plus the 1 enhancement of your Interpol credentials. So that'll be a persuasion probably.
Yep.
And then what attribute would you like to use with that?
Manipulation.
Go for it.
All right. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3. So that was how many? That was 6. So I get 3 more dice. 4, 5, 6. 6 successes. Sir, I apologize to bother you, but according to my CO, we never got the electronic information package for this investigation. Could you connect me with the proper technicians to actually get that uploaded?
He says, of course.
I apologize. Crossing over bureaucratic lines like this, it's always difficult. And it's...
Indeed. I apologize if I seemed a bit stern earlier. I'm concerned as to what might have brought Interpol here. Are we thinking this is some sort of international incident?
That's the concern. It's not your fault. I shouldn't be airing out dirty laundry, but it's definitely not your fault, sir. You've been very helpful, and I know that the Bundespolizei do a fantastic job of putting together these packages and so forth, and I have every confidence that you've gotten us the information that we need.
He nods and says, "Well, thank you. Your recognition of our infamous German attention to detail is appreciated. However, I do have not only bad news but also some disturbing. You see, whatever the device was, there were in
That's so
fact 8 security cameras filming the area between the 4 security cameras that were pointed at the concourse itself and internal cameras in the stores nearby. However, it seems that all digital recording media within the blast radius was corrupted.
I see.
We've run a Geiger counter through, so we do not believe that there is any sort of risk of contamination. But there was a concern initially that this might have been an electromagnet. However,
It's possible.
there is one piece of digital evidence that may be of use to you. This has not been released to the public. No one knows besides my department. We did receive an email. This email is timed to corrupt its, and we've been having a difficulty rearranging it. I can give you the data stream.
I just hold my hand out. Like, take me to where we need to go and what I need to do.
He escorts you over to an area where they've got basically like a digital command center set up at the crime scene, and taps someone. Carl, get up. Angry blonde dude with long hair stands up and kind of looks at you kind of funny, like says something in German. Steps out
I
of
just
the way.
nod. Like I,
You'll have to forgive Carl. He's cranky sometimes. All right. Feel free. He brings up the screen, and you see just like a jumbled mass of code, really.
Yep.
And he says, "We this was the email, but we were unable to when we attempted to copy it. This happened."
got it. Why don't you leave me with this and keep instructing my colleagues, and I'll let you know what I can find, if anything.
Very well. He steps away. So what you will need to do in order to unlock this is give me an Enigmas roll. So you're going to have a difficulty on this roll of 1, so you just need to make sure you get 1 success. But you also have a complication of 1. And that complication, basically you have to spend an extra success to buy it off, or the complication will happen. And that complication in this case is the email will auto-delete.
Okay. So I have the technology hacker tools for across.
Yep. So that acts as an enhancement.
Perfect. So I rolled just enigmas and that's it, correct?
And whatever attribute you feel is best.
Probably cunning again, I guess.
Okay. Cool.
Just that's what we used before.
That works for me.
And I'm looking for 8 or higher, right?
8 or higher, yep.
All right, I hit a 9.
Excellent. So that gives you the enhancement comes into play, which you can use that to buy off your complication. The second success buys off your difficulty. You are able to decode the email and save a copy of it before the original erases itself.
Nice. Now the question is, can I do any digging for any other shit that might be related?
In terms of what, just trying to get like their report and whatnot?
And I wanted
Oh.
to potentially find background information on the people we're dealing with in the department.
Oh, sure. Yeah, you can. You've got their access to their database, so like their personnel files and all that, you can email to you.
Yeah, just so that way, if anything goes sideways or if we need to like kind of pressure somebody, I'm like, hey, remember that time you got wrote up for that thing that they totally overlooked? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll allow it. You're in there and you're relatively unsupervised. So as far as like sending copies of yourself, copies of things to yourself, or building a back door, no problem.
Yep. Yeah, I
Um,
just wanted to make sure that we had access to this all the time.
Yeah, easy peasy.
Perfect.
The email itself says the bomb is the first fire signaling a time of change. From our place in the city, we watch. From our place in the city, we record the event. We combine the tools of mortals and the word of the divine to bring about. And there are pictures of the location, basically like right as the bomb went off. And it says, and after the pictures, it says, the next phase of human evolution, the word of 2911.
So they have pictures before the bomb went off?
It's like the moment of
Well,
the explosion. Like they
are the people who were running away from it in those pictures?
Yeah, there's some that have people. Most of them seem to be taken. So there's nothing that's like the um, concourse floor itself, except for one that appears to have been taken maybe by a drone through a skylight. So your ability to recognize anyone in there is pretty slim. The rest are the exterior of the building.
Gotcha.
Looks
So
like
we're not
they wanted to keep a safe distance when they were taking these.
right. So they knew what they were putting these people up to. So that poor guy that they found kind of just got the shaft, quite literally, a whole rebar shaft.
Right.
Yeah. Look at me go.
Cosmic horror and puns. You say it right on the box.
Yeah,
Sure.
I do. I love puns.
So that is the information that you are able to receive from the email. You're not able to track it. There is no. This email appears to have come from no one.
Is it kind of similar in the way that I wasn't able to find anything on the previous device in the plane?
No, that was just because that device didn't have.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, they weren't connected, but it seemed like it was like 10 years advanced. Is that still the same thing, or is it like on
I mean,
current aged technology?
that's more like current age technology. It looks like they just
Okay.
spoofed an email, like
Yeah.
sent it
Yeah.
from like a junk strain of.
Yeah.
characters.
Right.
Or a library computer or something.
Yeah, I was just trying to make sure that it wasn't like, yeah, oh, and this is a cell from the people that hired you.
Right. No, it doesn't. There's nothing seems like familiar in that sense. Like this looks a lot.
Not that I'm paranoid, but they might be out to get me.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure she'd be paranoid, especially with her alternate identity being compromised by her employer immediately. So
Yeah, that's it is. There's the paranoia is understandable. So
not that every character I ever play ends up like this.
So are you going to share? Well, sometimes you just gravitate to what's natural. Are you going to share that email with the inspector, or tell him that?
I think it would be in our best interest for them to think that we are really good at our jobs. So I will share that information, and I have the back door anyway. Maybe it'll spark something that I missed, or down the road it'll be an asset to us.
The inspector is very grateful, and you'll now have a +1 enhancement in further interactions with
Hey,
Um,
nice work.
Yeah, they're very pleased with having it. And they say, well, this definitely looks terroristy and maybe culty. I guess you being
Probably a
here,
combination of both at this rate.
I guess you being here does make sense. Is there any other information that you were able to gather from your leads? I'm told some of your people spoke with one of the terrorists. Is there something? Did you gain any information there?
I just look at the entourage.
So while that's been going on,
Mhm.
I'm going to Google or whatever web search is there that Saturnalian
Bing.
word.
It's all Bing.
It's all Bing. I sigh.
It's ding.
Fine.
Ding, and you found it.
Yep, you're in the dark. You're in the darkest timeline. Bing is your only search engine. Yeah, you actually discover there is an electronics store called Saturnalian, not far from here. Bottom floor of a four-story building, basically like across the busiest street and up the block from the mall itself.
Okay. So when he asks that question, then I will bring up that information. And weren't you talking about some kind of electronic store earlier? Maybe maybe we should go there.
The inspector says, "I can work on getting a warrant.
Yes, warrants.
That could take some time. We have the
Wink at
authority.
everyone else.
We have the authority to extend the cordon to keep people from the area, but we don't have the authority to enter. Now, I'm certain that Interpol pursuing a lead would have less restrictions, and I'm certain also that my supervisor would not mind if this miraculously took care of itself."
Well, I feel like if this is where they went, it kind of presents a clear and present danger. So perhaps we should go check that out. I ask all of you.
Doesn't seem like a bad idea to me.
I'm fine with it. I mean, we can do so much here. So
All right. He gets on his radio and says, "All right, we need to move the cordon out 2 blocks in every direction, please. Just tell everyone that there's no immediate cause for concern, but we just want to sweep the area for potential additional explosives." Hangs up. That should buy you a lack of interference from Licky Loose.
And if
That'll
there's
work.
nothing going on there, I'd like to buy some radios anyway. So
Very well. You make your way over to the building. It's closed. Closed sign is up. But you do see a guy inside, like, sweeping, who, for all the world, looks like the janitor from the Smells Like Teen Spirit video. This guy is... he is neither young nor spry. Yeah. And you can tell just by looking through the glass door that things were rocked off the shelves when the blast went.
Okay.
You also do notice on your approach there is a fire escape in the back of the building, and the building itself is 4 stories tall.
is there anyone like hanging out on the fire escape, like smoking a cigarette, enjoying the sunshine if it's sunny?
No.
it's 4 stories tall and 4 stories basement too.
No, just 4 stories tall.
Okay.
No, there's no one outside at the moment. There don't seem to be any looky-loos on the fire escape. Nobody out having a cigarette.
Okay.
You do see there is a in the alley below the fire escape is a large dumpster. looks like it's filled with maybe some construction stuff, drywall, some bits of broken wood. And there's also a yellow garbage chute that runs parallel to the fire escape all the way up to the top floor.
So there are ways in. If you guys want to try the sneaking in the back doorway, I can see if I can human engineer my way in here into the store.
I'm a little concerned about leaving you exposed by yourself.
Don't be.
I'm fine. You can go.
You tell
Don't
us
be.
like,
This is what I'm good at.
Yeah.
Did we ever get those walkie-talkies?
no, not yet, and they're inside the store. Why don't we all go in this way, or at least split up in an even group? It should probably be even.
Well,
See, what I'm
sure...
going to be
Oh,
what I'm going to be doing is lying, and it's easier when there's just me.
But
I
can I just
I can definitely help you with that.
I'm super good at lying.
I gestured to the Interpol badge, and I'm just like, we're already lying anyway, but this lie gets us in easier.
All right, let's go.
If this is a place where things are going down, they probably have a computer in the computer store. And if I can get some information out of that, it might really help us.
So I'm sorry, did I catch the armory is just going around the back right now?
Yeah, she'll do just fine on her own, so I'm just gonna go around the back.
Oh, but now you've made it odd. Okay, fine, I'll follow you.
All right. All right. I tap you on the shoulder, back my play. Come up to the door, kind of looking behind. Dun, 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 dun.
He looks up, startled. Kind of makes his way over to the door and unlocks it, opens it, just far enough that it hits the analog bells that are above the thing. And he says in German, closed.
I know. We're in from corporate. They sent us down here to inventory the damage.
Are you speaking English to him?
Not if I can speak German to him. There's nothing that lists language on here.
All right. So and I assume you do not have the polyglot.
I do not.
Or any sort of edge that indicates a linguistic.
No, I mean loads, but not that.
You see him struggling, and he says, English or no corporate. This is my store, my building.
This is not, and I throw sort of a variation on the name that sounds plausible.
No, is Saturnalian.
I'm so sorry. Are things okay? Do you need help?
Just fine, healthy. Little mess.
Little mess. Well, yeah, I don't know where I'm supposed to be. Can we? You have
While this is going on, I am very quickly
Wi-Fi.
I'm trying to forge a thing that says oh yeah, no, the building that you're leasing this from says we're supposed to be here. You don't own this. You're just leasing it. What?
You're working on some paperwork in the background there. You go ahead and give me a larceny, and what ability would you like to use there? Key.
For
what attribute
larceny,
would go with your larceny? Yeah.
I guess that would. Is that cunning again? I guess since with this, or would that be more of a manipulation?
I can see
or
cunning because you're doing it on the fly. Manipulation
Okay.
would be fine too. You're gonna have complication of 3. It's gonna be you're working fast is 1, so that's
Okay.
gonna make it that's gonna make it sloppy, and the other 2 complication is he actually owns this building. So
Yeah. It's a bit of a big thing.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, I have an edge called Skilled Liar. Will that help me in any way with
Absolutely, yes. So skilled liar. If you look at your sheet, what does that specify that it does? Does it give you a +2 enhancement when lying?
this? Yeah, it's just a 2. Yeah.
Yep. So you'll have 2 enhancements to that roll. So realistically, if you get 2 successes, you'd be able to not only convince them but also purchase off your complications. But while you're making that roll, I also do need we'll say persuasion probably roll.
Sure.
Trace.
I need more dice for this shit.
And what ability do you think, or what attribute do you think that should go with?
Again, manipulation, because I'm trying to get him to, open the door. So, okay, that's 1, 2 successes, and I get 2 more dice, and because I'm lying my ass off, oops, hey, 3, 3 successes, and I also have the skilled liar thing, so.
I hit 3 successes with the Skilled Liar, so 5, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent.
So basically what I'm trying to get across is I don't know where I'm supposed to be. If you have Wi-Fi so I could get on Google Maps, that would be really helpful.
He says, no Wi-Fi upstairs, neighbor's Wi-Fi. I think I have the password. Come. He opens the door.
Thank you. Thank you.
And,
Danke schön.
I recall Central Park in fall. And he turns and walks. He walks inside and takes you both in. You have this document that's actually pretty well forged, Key, that looks official, giving you inspection rights to the place. But you realize you don't have to present it to him at the moment. But it might come in handy, so in the pocket it goes. When you walk in, you realize this isn't just like a throwback electronics store. It's a throwback in virtually every way. The computer screen on the counter is green.
Oh wow!
You see parts laying around that haven't been manufactured this century. Not in any. And he walks over and pulls like a thumbtack off of a corkboard in the back, and looks very closely. Hands you a piece of paper, and he says, "The Wi-Fi upstairs, neighbors. How you say? Tech startup."
Yeah. Danke.
Yes.
Danke. Yeah, like pat him on the shoulder, pull out my phone, laboriously enter the code, go into Google Maps, do some faking around.
So you're on their Wi-Fi right now?
Yeah. Well, I'm on the upstairs neighbor's Wi-Fi.
And they're the tech startup?
Yep, apparently. So yeah, that also will be handy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that maybe I would like to dig around on their Wi-Fi network potentially.
You think?
Yes. I'll send them a fax of my totally like, hey, we own, we own this building.
Yeah.
Just confuse everybody. Have this sweet guy going, what the hell you say? I own the building, and then the people next door are like, what? Just
Man,
have
I
them
wish
fighting.
I spoke German.
Yeah.
But,
Well,
yeah.
Is there any way that I can poke around on their network and see if there's any sort of like coming and going, anything odd, like
sure. Give me let's do this one will be technology actually, just a straight up tech roll, and then what attribute would you like to use with that?
I assume cunning again
Right,
seems
go
to
for
be
it.
the We got 2.
You notice there are only 3 devices on this Wi-Fi.
Drip.
There's yours, Trace's, and what's listed as Metatron.
There's Transformers in Germany.
What?
I refuse to believe it's Metatron. It's Megatron 100%.
Different other chap.
Okay. I can't really do much anything else with that. I just see the devices connected to it, but I am assuming I can get, since the devices are connected, they're not encrypted or secured on that Wi-Fi in any way, right? Like they're not like, oh, this is a hidden device and you can't look at it.
They're not hidden devices, no.
Okay, so they should have unique IP addresses attached to them.
Yes.
Yes, I would like to keep those in my back pocket for when we get off of their Wi-Fi and perhaps use the police database to take a nice look at those.
Excellent.
But not right now.
While that's going on downstairs, what are the 2 of you that went around the back of the building doing?
Bum, 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 bum.
Right?
All right, so you're gonna sneak.
There
up
are
the,
rules. I mean,
sneak up the back stairs, or are you gonna like
Yeah.
climb up the garbage
Yeah.
chute?
I mean, I was going for the stairs, but if Armory's like, no, we need to climb up the garbage chute.
No,
I
much
could
more likely
probably
to
be-
get like. Much more likely to run into people on the stairs. So let's do that.
All right. Well, why don't you go ahead and give me just each of you give me a larceny and whatever you would like to rely on for sneaking. What attribute would you like to rely on for sneaking?
So many
God.
dice.
Just dexterity.
Yeah. Two successes.
Okay.
3 successes.
Nice.
Excellent. So the 2 of you make your way up. As you're going up, you see each of the 3 floors, or each of the 2 floors. You got the ground floor is the store.
Mm-hmm.
The 2 floors after that appear to be like regular ass apartments. Like you look in and you see like, you know, a German woman like drying herself off with her towel, and then and then you know they just look like normal apartment floors. You get to the 4th floor, and the entire space, it looks like all the interior walls have been knocked out, and you see like random computer parts, soldering tools. Looks like the inside of Radio Shack threw up on the wall. And various different workstations lining these large walls. You see large, sturdy military-style crates standing in stacks next to these workstations, while others sit piled in random intervals. There's wires running just roughshod across the floors and running up a stack of crates in the middle of the room. On top of that stack of crates, you see a gray cylindrical device, a large glass orb fastened in the middle, breaking its smooth lines. The glass orb seems mostly inert, but as you're looking, you see a few faint purple lightning bolts flicker within it.
This sounds unhealthy.
Hey,
It's just that. Well, go ahead. I was
I
just gonna
saw
make
that.
a joke.
well, same was I. I saw that in like the children's museum. You just like touch it.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
This is so much fun.
I was like, it's fine. It's just one of those things that you touch and your hair stands up.
Are there any people?
You don't see anyone in there, and you also notice as you're looking closer, there's writing on the side of the cylinder. Can't quite make it
Sure.
out from where you're at though.
So you have your boom boom stick.
I mean, so I've got my pistol in my hand, but I didn't bring my sniper rifle up with me. I would have like crammed it next to the staircase because it's harder to like be sneaky when you're carrying like a
massive
giant case, right? So I do have my pistol with me.
So can you cover me while I get that, and then
Absolutely.
do it?
You're going.
So I'm just
in.
going to kneel down outside the window. Is it locked? Like if I try and push it open?
No, you're able to open it.
Okay. So I'm just going to slide the window open quietly and just like
All right.
cover you.
As soon as you get in, you see there are at multiple workstations. You see there are computers. Those computers also hardwired to these various wires that are running throughout. You do see a router off in the corner. You make your way over to the cylinder. As you get close to the cylinder, you see the word is emblazoned on the cylinder.
They're funny.
Go ahead and give me technology. Whatever ability you or attribute you like.
Yeah, Jeremy, I think we're dead.
Just walk over, pick it up, and slam it on the ground.
We
How does this thing work? Right?
It's the scene from Zoolanders.
Well,
The files are inside the computer.
we'll once again go composure because as far as I know, this is a bomb. So you got to be. Only one.
You grab it and slowly lift it up. It's heavy, but not, 20 pounds maybe. And the purple energy shoots a little bit more, like when you jostle it. But
Oh, you made a friend.
Otherwise, nothing. You do see it's got 4 cables plugged into it.
Mm-hmm.
You have no freaking idea what those do.
Yeah.
But you're pretty sure that this cylinder, that the actual material of the cylinder is the same material that was in the bomb parts.
Okay, so if it's plugged in, we will slowly put it back. Remember the word, the materials, and then slowly make my way back outside.
Right. You do notice as you're setting it back down that the 4 things that it's plugged into are like hardwired straight into 4 computers.
Okay. So then we have made a route to get here very quickly. We'll go back outside and then get one of our more techno-savvy friends.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and did you notice anyone else in there? Or any other like hidey holes they could be waiting in?
I mean, hiding holes could be all over the place, but I didn't see anybody in my direct route to it.
I just wanted to clear it before we bring anyone else in. You okay with that?
Turn around. It's been a while. Let's see if I still got it. Maybe if we clear it, can you clear it without the pistol? Because that tends to be loud.
I mean, if somebody's shooting at me,
once they get
back.
loud, yes, we
Right.
get loud. But like maybe we should just go in. You know what? We figured it out. You got it.
All right, so you're gonna clear the floor basically, right? Like.
yeah.
All right. While you're clearing the floor, why don't you both give me a investigation and cunning?
Would there be something besides investigation? I don't see investigation. Is that what survival is?
I'm sorry. Did I say? I'm sorry. Integrity.
Integrity.
Perfect.
Cunning.
That's a typo.
That's a 0.
Oh, one success.
Okay. So as you're clearing it, you see there's no one inside as far as you can see. But you do see something catches your eye on one of those computer terminals. Like as you're rounding the corner by the computer terminal that had one of the computer terminals that has the wire coming from the device.
Mm-hmm.
You see a journal. And this journal looks like it's been beaten up a little bit. There's like some cigarette burns in the cover. Looks like it's been well used. Looks like aged leather, probably, several years old. The paper is a little bit yellow. But you see a folded up piece of paper sticking out of it that you can clearly see the numerals 2911 on.
I mean, that's 2911. What do you think?
That's a pretty popular number.
That's what all the kids are saying these days.
Yeah.
Good to know. Once we're sure there aren't people around, I'll check it out.
All right, you grab it. The folded note you pull out says, "When the test is complete, turn your eyes to DC. The beginning of the end of Age of Man will happen in the seat of American power under the gaze of the United States Senator Francis McAllister. We have brethren placed at his charity fundraiser and re-election campaign. They will carry your mission forward, and I shall be watching. We will use what you have learned and iterate. I will ensure its success. And should the word be spoken before its time, we will scatter and reform, flowing like a flock, to gather some other place, some other time. I bid you learn further before the holy event occurs. Use what remains of our holy materials to move forward yourselves. Set the sensors to send the blessed knowledge to me. Let the energies flow through you in fire and flux. Speak the knowledge so that it may be echoed into the future. Help me perfect the word that will be spoken to the world."
I think we should go get our tech friends.
I feel like we've done our job.
Yeah. Okay, one of us stay here and one of us go get the tech friends. Who do you want to stay here?
You stay. I'm pretty good at navigating.
Okay,
Okay,
good, because this place has got to be organized, and I start like lining things up.
Excellent. Are you going down the fire escape, or are you going down the stairs inside the building?
Inside.
Right. You run down the stairs and actually come outside of the shop, just as the two of you are wrapping up in the store part. You do see Armory come like around the corner outside the storefront window.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Mittermeier. I Berlin's just been so welcoming, and when you travel on business, that's not always the case. So thank you. And I kiss him on both cheeks, and then head out onto the street.
Excellent. I assume you're following along, Key, or are you doing anything else inside the shop?
No, I believe I would still have access to those other PCs with the information I got in the place over. So I am content and more than happy to leave.
Excellent. They step outside and join you, Armory.
Okie doke.
My friends, let me just say, the bird is, I'll do it like a super heavy wink. The word. Get it? The word.
Okay. Well,
We found the bottom of the stairs.
I almost feel like I need to make a roll whether or not I understand what they're trying to tell me.
You start doing the mashed potato and singing "The Bird Is the Word," and then you head back upstairs, taking the internal stairs or the external stairs.
Internal. It's worked solid.
Oh, excuse me.
One of the neighbors passes you on the stairwell that lives on the second floor. They don't barely even seem to acknowledge you either. And you make your way back up into the main room as Scope is like straightening various detritus that's scattered around. The computers and the crates. What would you like to do?
I'm just going to hand them the journal and be like, we need to head to Washington.
Have you looked through the journal itself or just that paper during this downtime?
Let's see. Odd will be journal. Oh, I actually managed to like focus on the journal long enough to read it instead of being like, oh my God, how can they work in an environment like this?
What you've gathered while you were waiting for them to get back up is that the notebook, the numerals of 2911 are like scattered all over this journal. Like it's written in the margins. There's a heart with 2911 on the back cover. Like it's doodled everywhere. But you see that the notebook states that the bomb was not supposed to go off. But the word does get clearer the more it is spoken, and I cannot wait to hear it alone. Looks like they regard the explosion as a happy accident.
Huh.
Like it didn't do what it was supposed to, but it got us closer.
Gotcha.
And there's there's just a lot of like this word in belief that this word is going to transform.
Gotcha. I mean, if they're happy about it exploding and that's not what it's supposed to do, I'm a little worried. And I'll just bring all this up with everyone when they get up there.
All right. What would you like to do in this space?
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is yell at both of them for touching it. You did what?
Are you blown up? No. Problem
Could you
solved.
have been? Yes.
We could be blown up anytime.
You know, we're not going to get very far if you just touch things. And I look over.
I mean, we got this far. I think we're doing all right.
Well, I mean, this is a crime scene, technically, right? So we should still leverage the police in this because they have far more resources than we do. And somebody won't stop touching it. And I look over at Scope. They're like lining stuff up. So we should
have kept it organized then.
I agree, but that's not our responsibility.
You're
think
right.
that,
Our responsibility are those for computers,
well, yeah,
which requires you to touch it. So let's get to touching.
That's the thing, though. I don't know if we should hustle and do this ourselves or continue to leverage the exorbitant amount of funds and additional eyes that this police department would have.
Funds and eyes that could be also like part of this, you know, because if someone is planning on blowing up Washington, they probably have people.
But I would rather have them blow up than me.
Then do your thing and hack into it and then go outside. But I would rather not give the police this information until we know what we're dealing with.
Well, there was something next door from where we were below before of a startup company, and very obviously
this is them, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So I have access to 3 devices already. And we don't have to be here. So we could even monitor them to see what's going on and stop them in the act too. We have options. We have a lot of information. We don't necessarily have to act this second.
My favorite option is the one where we don't wait until they take the bomb and leave.
Right. But we could stake them out while I hack all their shit. And we have someone who's really skilled. I heard that German. You're great at it. At lying. So, they could be like, if I find out that they're expecting a new recruit or maybe they're looking for something, like we have a lot of options.
To be clear, you have my device, my phone, your phone, and something labeled Metatron.
Yes.
Those are the 3 devices. You can't. So that's one device of theirs that you can hack into.
Right.
So wait, there's something here called Metatron?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Metatron is like, the word he holds the word of God.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's probably the bomb, if I had to wager, I guess.
Bomb? What?
Yeah, that's why I'm mad at them for touching it.
Travis,
Holy
what
crap.
kind of, so the group that is employing us, what kind of feel do we have as far as, do they want this kept on the down low, or are we supposed to be sharing this with the locals, or?
You're supposed to keep.
That's a good question.
They told you to report in often and to keep their organization out.
Yeah.
So maybe this is a report in situation.
Yeah. So I'm going to go call them or email them or however it is we're supposed to report in.
You have the tablet. So.
Yeah. I'll tablet in.
That's the problem with, like, I just don't want to hack this thing and be in the same room. Because what if it has a failsafe and it just explodes or some shit? You know what I mean?
There are people below us too.
There's a brief moment of delay, and then your tablet rings.
Oh, whoa! Is there an answer button?
There's an answer button.
Click.
A holographic face projects from what you're assuming, what you thought was the front-facing camera.
Hi.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's androgynous, bald-headed, definitely computer generated. And it says, "Hello, agent. How may I be of assistance?"
Can you see this? And I point it at the bomb, at the word.
I'm accessing all of your cameras now. Go ahead and show me the room.
I'll turn around and show it the room.
Excellent. What do you need to know from me?
What do you want us to do about this? And I point it back at the word.
That's not a bomb specifically. At least it's not meant to be. If you can get it out of there safely, give it to your mission contact. I see wires connected to it. Is it? They don't seem to have a trigger attached.
There's 4 computers attached to it, which.
Yeah, all I'm getting there is a router and your devices.
Yeah. Oh, you're not even seeing the actual device itself?
Correct, in terms of signal. I mean, I see it physically, but the only things that are broadcasting a signal that we can read anyway are the router and... Are all those computers hardwired to that router?
Lean.
Yes.
Yeah.
You look at it and there's like 20 like Ethernet cables stuck in the back of this router. And
Or router.
And like those like label guns. There's like a label from a gun on the side of it that says Metatron.
Yep.
Well, I don't know if those cables are a trigger or not. It appears from our analysis with what we're able to do through the tablets that device was intended to contain flux energy and analyze it, and that it currently has only trace amount.
Okay. Is there a way that it could be activated remotely because it's hooked up to this router? I ask anyone who knows the answer to that.
Well, I had some of the information from interacting with the destroyed pieces before, but it was just the trigger mechanism. So I don't know how much I would be able to glean in similarity between the parts that I interacted with before and this thing.
Give me a tech cunning roll. You can
Tech
have a
and
+1 enhancement.
let's find out. Oh, thank God for that +1 enhancement, because I only got one success.
All right, that's enough though. So what you're able to put together is this does look like this flux energy. You don't know a whole lot about it, but what you can figure is that this device looks like it actually brought in like some sort of ambient energy from the room, created a readout, and spit it out to those 4 computers.
So not a bomb.
I mean, they're not supposed to be bombs anyway, but I'm concerned that this one is going to be activated because the first test exploded.
Right.
And who knows if they're going to try and test it again. So let's just unhook it.
It looks like it's already been activated once and sent information. Right? Like, that's what I gleaned from that.
Yes.
So they've already used it. So I guess it's okay for me. And I'm like already pulling out shit to get into the computers. And so
you're gonna hack the computer network.
I think so. I think I'm going to try and give it a go. I'm going to try and see what kind of outputs that they want to find.
Give me enigmas, intellect, and you're going to have a complication that there is a trigger, like a security trigger.
Nice.
So if you
does my hacker tools give me a plus thingy?
Yes, because it's from enigmas. So
what about breaking in for larceny?
No.
I tried.
But yeah, so if you trigger the security, it's going to send out a signal that will inform, basically like a tamper alarm.
Well, I have this. Okay, so here's my question. I have a deep system scan. It says your character must spend at least one scene with a computer. In that time, they can access any data that was ever on the device. This expression includes things like internet history or keystrokes. They also know if files were deleted. You can access corrupt files, but must spend an inspiration to recover these lost files. Does that do anything for this?
I mean, it'll give you access to a whole bunch of information that may or may not have been on the network if it's there, but it won't give you any. It won't make it any easier to break in without setting off the alarm.
Got it. All right. Well, here's crossing my fingers then. Ooh, I got a 10.
Okay.
All right. Well, I got 2 successes on 3 dice, so I feel pretty good about that.
And
Thank you, 10 and the 8 that followed up afterwards.
And the one enhancement from your
your
specialty
nice
is exactly enough to disarm that before it sends off a
Oh, I'm good at my roll.
You disarm the device. You're able to look it down, and basically what you can see is that yes, they did in fact largely deleted most of the information that was on this computer, and it's still in the process of self-deleting. Without spending an inspiration, you can tell that it collated a shitload of numbers. Like each of these computers collated probably about a terabyte worth of data from the readout from the machine independently and sent them to DC.
Yeah, well, I'm still going to spend that inspiration and grab as much as I can out of this thing.
All right, you download the full contents of all 4 computers. It's going to take you a long time to go through that information, but fortunately you have at least a 4-hour plane flight ahead.
Yay!
Is there anything else that you would like to do before returning? Basically, your contact that you're on the tablet with says, I think you've probably done all you can. Why don't you meet up with your contact and head
I want to disable that thing before we leave.
Okay. How so?
They had a trigger on it already. I want to change the way that they would safeguard themselves from that. So like a password or anything like that they were using to bypass it, I want to change it so that they have to do the same thing.
Oh, okay.
So they can't use it again. You know what I mean?
Well, nothing that they had prevented its use. The only thing they had in there was an alarm to send a remote signal if the computers were tampered.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, then I just want to straight up like have it encrypt its like self. Like it looks like that their encryption or whatever they did spread into it, and now it's just foobarred.
Okay. I'll allow it with what you had. You've got access to it.
Nice.
And you spent the inspiration. All right.
Yep.
Well, we will then wrap things up for this session with you all heading back to the airport to meet up with your liaison and potentially head to DC. Sound about right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Excellent.
I just want to tell our liaison that we need radios, damn it.
She says, why didn't you requisition some? We could have sent them to you.
Well, because I didn't think about it until after the fact.
Oh, okay. Here, have 4 radios.
If you could have some waiting for us.
Yeah. All right. Any questions, comments, complaints, or concerns about part 1 of the Jumpstart, the Quantum Leap?
Nope. Think I got it.
Cool. Well, this was a grand old time. Sorry we went a little bit long, but I wanted to make sure we were at a nice stopping point, particularly where we might be able to easily bring in another party member next session because Hammer might be joining you. And by Hammer, I mean Ailey, who was unable to join us this week. I just want a little bit of bookkeeping. We will not be playing next week. I am taking a vacation.
Yeah.
It's also my birthday next Monday, so it will
Happy
work out.
birthday.
Hey, additional
Happy
yay.
birthday. Remind me when the next session I'll give you a birthday enhancement on any one roll of your choice.
Yes, I would like to be younger, please. Thank you.
And, so just a reminder, definitely go check out Trinity Continuum Core if you've not yet done so. Keep an eye on the Monday meeting notes tonight over at theonyxpath.com so you can see, hopefully there'll be an announcement about what's coming up next for Kickstarter. Big mystery.
Ooh.
So make sure you visit there tonight and check that out. Lots of cool programming coming up for the rest of the week. So make sure you stick around long enough to check out the schedule. And let's just get some quick goodbyes, any final plugs, so on and so forth. Let's go backwards from last time. Scope, give us your pertinence, please.
I'm Jeremy Hochhalter playing Achi the Scope. You can find me on Twitter, WHPubs, here on Twitch at WH Publications. I finally fixed my website, so if you head over to whpublications.com, it doesn't look like a pile of crap. Yay!
Hey!
I do stuff on DM's Guild and Drive-Thru, RPG. Look me up over there, or I have stuff on my website that links you there. Thanks for running this today, Travis. It was fun. Looking forward to the end.
Thanks for playing, and likewise. Next up, we have E. Give us your pertinence, please.
That's me. I was like, who's Key? I was sitting here going, I'm Shang Ming the whole time. And it got me each time. But that, of course, when you try to outro me, I'm like, what? But I am Trick, or the Hair Trick, as previously stated. Cosmic Horror and Puns, great stuff. Variety streamer on Twitch, Patreon stuff over on Patreon under Hair Trick Productions. Doing a special stream. So if you were cold feet about coming to hang out ever, on Saturday will be my birthday stream, where I finally leave the 20s. So so if you guys want to come and hang out, that would be awesome. I'd love to see all your faces, so through text.
Congratulations on your emergence from the best of decades. It's all downhill from here.
Ever.
It was super great.
I hated my 20s, and everyone I know hated their 20s, so don't feel bad. And next up, we've got Trace. Give us your pertinence, please.
Hi, Fran Stewart, pronouns she, her. I'm playing Trace, pronouns she, her, unless otherwise needed. I write stuff particularly a lot of Scarred Land stuff, including Frostlands of Fenrilic, which is just made silver bestseller on Drive-Thru Fiction, which is really awesome. So go there and download that so that you can make your players be eaten to death by giant ice squid that can attack you anywhere on the continent. Sorry, I have scars. And I'll call that good.
I mean, technically there are some mountains, so they should be safe, like on the mountain, but not.
But yeah, it's
anywhere
fucking
else.
Tremors, but in the Arctic, man.
Right.
Sometimes those mountains are alive, if I remember correctly, and
That's
they
true.
That is also
they
true.
get you.
There are some mountains that might eat you. It's a nice place. Come visit. That leaves us, last but most certainly not least, with Armory. Please give it
Yay.
to her.
Hi, I am Chaz, he, him, playing Armory, she, her. Sometimes I DM, will not be DMing for a while. I finished up the last night DMing, but I am playing on Jeremy's channel, WH Pubs or Publications on the Twitch.
WH Publications.
Publications on Twitch, where we're playing a game that he co-wrote for Adventures League. And so it's fun to be behind the scenes and just warlock it up for a good, fun, warlocky kind of time.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll actually get to play this week. Last week, technology ruined our game.
Technology did happen, yeah.
We have a saying on this channel: tech happens.
Right.
All right. I guess what's the last thing I wanted to let you know? Tonight after we our usual 8 p.m. stream is postponed this week. So I would like to send some get well wishes to Tam, the storyteller, and we will be back here on the channel tomorrow at 9 a.m. Speaking of Frostlands of Fenrilic, tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern, there will be Behind the Screen with Comrade Bubbles putting together, I think, the finishing touches on their classes supplement that they've been working on live on stream. So
cool.
poke your head in there and get a little bit of insight into how to make community content. Definitely look into
Hint, it involves swearing.
it does. Definitely look into Sluretian Vault. Definitely look into the StoryPath Nexus. You can make your own Trinity Continuum content there as well. And get vaccinated. Be good to yourselves and each other. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Yabba dabba doo.
Bye.
And we.